What's up, guys? George Dominion here, and I just got done doing my weekly review, which is something that I love to do. Everyone should do. It's a great way to really assess to make sure you're on the right track in your life and everything in your personal and your professional life are going smoothly. Just like you take your car into get maintenance, or maybe you have a financial planner. It's important also to do a checkup from the neck up, if you will, with your life to make sure you're on track. Because sometimes you may find yourself really achieving success, in one area like your career, everything is going great. And then all of a sudden your relationship suffers, or, you're achieving success and your health deteriorates. And so it's important to be able to have a way to analyze everything that is going on in our life. And one of my favorite ways to do that, it's something a technology that I've been practicing for years, is filling out the Wheel of Life. This right here is called the Wheel of Life. And basically what it is, it's just a way to break down the different categories of your life that need constant and never-ending improvement and constant attention on them. No matter how successful you become, you never want to forget about your physical health, because no matter how much money you have, if you don't have the health to go along with it, then it doesn't really matter, right? If you die at a young age from a heart attack or something like that. So there's certain areas of our life that constantly need attention and also constantly need to be improved upon. And the Wheel of Life is a great way to make sure that all those areas are being met. And so what it is, it's just a circle. You draw a circle like this, and you break it down into different segments. And for everybody, there's going to be different categories. Now, these are just kind of some basic, fundamental kind of categories, but for you, it may be different. Maybe these aren't areas of your life that you're concerned with improving. So these categories are totally individual. You can add in more categories and so forth, but I'll go through these basic ones right here. So physical. What you want to do is you want to assess. Sit down and say, okay, you'll see up here 100% at the axes. Where are you with your health goal? Maybe maybe you were at 80% with your health, and you're like, what, my health is doing great right now. Or maybe it's really low, and you say, what, my health could definitely use some improvement upon. So you mark it, whatever it is. Say that's just, for example, like the 10 or 20% or something like that, and you say, what, that could definitely area could use some attention. Our emotional health, that's something that's really important, and a good way to gauge this is just think about how you've been dealing with recent things that have come up in your life. Did you handle it well, or did you flip out and go crazy? When someone cut you off in traffic, do you lose it? So think about, where are you with your emotions? If you don't have control over your emotions will control your life. And so it's important to have good strength and control of your emotions. That's why this is something for me that I constantly like to make sure I'm in check. And so you kind of say, where am I? Maybe you're like, what, I'm 80%. My mindset and my ability to, handle things in life is awesome. My emotions are, whatever. You fill it out where you think you're at. Your financial situation. You may be making 6 figures a year, but maybe your goal is to be making, $1 million a year. So maybe you're only at 10% of your goal. Even though you're doing well. And again, this is all individual. This is only you can assess where you're at. And it's not that anything is good or bad, it's just according to where your overall goal is. Or maybe you're making $20,000 a year and you're at 100%. And you're like, what, this is great. This is what I've always wanted to make, was $20,000 a year, and I'm good. Okay, well, whatever. You fill it out according to where you are at. Family. Where's your relationship with your family? Maybe you say, what, my relationship with my family is rock solid. We have a great relationship. We just have so many good memories and everything, and we spend so much time together. That area is just, almost completely filled out. It's rock solid. Your spiritual category. This is something you don't want to neglect also, and for everybody it's different. It may be practicing more of your faith, maybe going to church more, or meditating, or whatever it is you need to do to connect with that spiritual side of you. That's an important category as well to make sure that you're fulfilled in that area of your spiritual side as well. So you fill out accordingly where you are at. Same thing goes for your career. Where are you at in your career? Maybe you could be a doctor and you say, what, I'm at 100%. That's what I wanted, to become a doctor. I did it and I'm good. I'm rock solid. I'm at 100% of my goal. Or, maybe you're a doctor and you say, what, I'm a doctor, but I want more for my life. I want to open up my own practices. I don't want to just work at a hospital. I want to open up my own practices, and I also want to teach other days, maybe run seminars or whatever. And, so you fill it out according to, where you're at. Maybe you're only at 50% of, your overall goal of what you want for your career. And so after you do this, you kind of get an assessment of your wheel of life and how it's filled out. And so if this was a wheel in a car, would you want this to be a wheel in your car? I don't think so. I mean, it'd be kind of a rocky and a bumpy road. And imagine if you were going 150 miles an hour, what would happen using this wheel? You would spin out of control and crash. That's exactly what happens when you're a business owner, or and living a life that is, you got multiple kids and this and that, and your life is fast and furious and you don't have time and everything's going crazy. That's when you're going 150 miles an hour. And if you're not careful, all of a sudden you're a mom, you got 3 kids, and this and that, and your business, and all of a sudden your health drops down to a 10% because you're taking care of everyone and everything else except for yourself. Then this is a great way to assess that. And so when you do this, all of a sudden in your weekly review or monthly review, you sit back and, okay, all right, well, my family is rock solid right now, so I don't really need to set, major goals to improve my that area. You just keep doing what I'm doing and make sure that's on track. But I need to make new goals to improve my physical fitness. Maybe I need to, what can I do this week to begin to fill up this category? Maybe that's committing to going to the gym, getting a new gym membership, trying out Orange Theory or whatever, or starting to have wheatgrass or something like that. And okay, what kind of goals can I set to improve this area, my financial situation? All right, I need to do this, this, and this. All right, what can I do? What kind of goals can I set to make sure that, my career becomes more fulfilled? Because ultimately, you want to get as close to 100% in all these categories as possible. And truth be told, I don't know if that's ever really possible to get 100% in all of them, just because what happens is as we tend to focus more aggressively on certain areas, naturally some areas do tend to suffer. And that's why it is very important to do this all the time, because it'll remind you, okay, you know what? I am crushing it with my career and my health and everything, but I'm neglecting my family. That category is trying to go down. So I need to put some more attention over there. And that's the juggle and the balance of life. Because see, there's a lot of people who become successful and then they don't understand why they're not fulfilled and they're not happy. Where if they would just take the time to do a basic assessment like this, they would see, okay, there's some basic areas in my life that, with the right attention, will fill up and I'll naturally tend to feel more fulfilled. And see, you can, like I said, you can add other categories. Maybe improving your romance. Maybe you have a category for romance. And you draw that diagram and it's like a moth comes out and you haven't been laid in 5 years or something. And you're like, wow, I really got to, make some improvement on this area. Maybe you need to go to online dating or something like that. And also, you can create this kind of diagram for different major categories in life. For example, like your career. Say you're a real estate agent, for example. You could do one of these just for real estate. So say, for example, you have a category in real estate for your prospecting skills. Maybe marketing and advertising. Maybe follow-up. Maybe your bookkeeping and accounting. Or maybe just different categories. Your networking and this and that. And what can happen to some people is that sometimes they find themselves hitting a lot of success in their career, that they get all at once, it comes, and all of a sudden they'll stop sharpening their saw in the areas of like prospecting and advertising and marketing, and they're riding this roller coaster of success. But all of a sudden when things start to dry up, they're scratching their head and suffering tremendously because they weren't constantly sharpening the different different areas of their categories that needed to be improved, like your prospecting and marketing and advertising. Where if you're constantly going through this in like your career, then you'll know, even if you're having success, I still need to keep, these different categories. I need to keep improving on them and working on them because, those are areas that constantly and never-ending need improvement. So when it comes to the wheel of life, this isn't, in my opinion, something you need to do every day. I mean, you certainly can, but I think it would be kind of redundant. This is something that you could do once a month or even once a week. I like to do it once a week, definitely once a month. Because that way you can see, you can take the time to, just like you're doing maintenance on your car or anything else, you can take the time to, to see where you're at. And at that point, it'll give you an idea about what kind of goals you need to set for the week forward, the month forward. You'll say, okay, great. I need to set some goals in this area and this area. And the overall goal is to, to get as close to 100% in all of them. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions about this, any comments, if you guys have ever utilized this before, I'd love to hear about how it's helped you. And with that, wish you all the best success. Hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, and a great life. Till next time.